going on YouTube? Mic check, mic check. Straight away, we have some crazy stuff going on. I got all my cables delivered and have set up a multi-camera angle system, and I can see already that it is taxing my computer. I didn't get a chance to test the stream today. We are just going live with everything active. So I have this above desk camera. This one is the one that I'm not sure about. I have a camera down here to show the welder settings. This is the one that used to be the welder camera. The picture is grainy, it's a cheap, dreadful little camera. I have a looking situation, so I have a camera here and the camera above here. And this is also going to be the welding camera tonight. And we're going to see how that goes. It is set on manual focus, so I'll have to set it up for each weld, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm curious if the stream's going to be super choppy because of all this camera situation, but I am on this setting now. It's pretty good. But back here, it is loading the CPU up pretty high. Yeah. Anyway, we are learning as we go. It looks pretty good on stream. It's hot. It was a hot day today, and a day full of problems, which for me makes it feel even hotter. But we made it. We're only a few minutes late. I'm trying to get a 5 p.m. local time start on these streams, but I don't like the chances. But as long as we're in the ballpark, I'm going to remain happy. So R33 catch cans tonight. These are, so straight away that camera doesn't want to run. I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. I've got it set to reset every time I change screens, so hopefully that keeps it going throughout the night. So these recirc catch cans, you can see in the filter breather there that the tube comes through, so that tube runs through straight through the top of the catch can, and lets the catch can use all the baffle features of a atmospheric vented catch can, but recirc back to the intake manifold. Cool little setup. I've got a couple of these to do. I don't know if I'm going to get them both done tonight, but we're going to power through until I can't sweat anymore. G'day Chris. Yeah, hopefully it runs pretty smoothly. This is definitely where I want to be as far as lenses and equipment goes, and then the rest is just going to be back-end settings and either computer or internet or something like that. But I can see that the stream is having troubles already. But yeah, I am very keen to see if it's sort of a choppy feed tonight. So I've sacrificed my welding prop to put this camera here tonight. So I'm using my very old welding prop, which has no no stability. It's probably the best way to describe it, but just a dial indicator with a 10mm rod on it. 10mm rod is turned down to 8mm to fit the thing, and I've just wrapped a bit of aluminium around it to try and get some strength into it. Alright, so welder settings tonight. Wasn't sure how reflective this would be. This little camera, the old welding camera, is all but dead. It's really slow to respond and isn't focusing or anything, or isn't letting me set manual focus anymore. So I'll still talk through it, but you get a bit of an idea of what I'm looking at. So I'm just using my regular welding settings to tack these corners. So we're starting with this filter cradle here. So we're just using a square wave, running it at 100 Hertz with a negative 28% AC balance. That doesn't make any difference to you. Let me see if I can just trim up that camera. It's there somewhere, but I can't lock it on. Even autofocus doesn't work on this camera anymore. Somewhere there, get you around the ballpark. And is the information mirrored for you? It looks mirrored. I'm not sure how it translates on the stream. There, I will check it out later. Anyway, and we're running 105 max amps on this setting. So we're going to go ahead and tack these corners. And as always, we'll start the night with a fresh piece of tungsten. I got a piece of 2% lanthanated, just ground to a point. I'm going to run about a 4mm stick out to start, and I'm going to light up on the point. So this is the screen that I think is going to kill the stream, if anything kills the stream. I'm attempting to run 3 cameras at once here. All right, let's get to tacking. Okay, so it looks like the welding camera didn't enjoy that. I have it on a mount on the steel frame that I weld in. I wasn't sure if that would cause an issue or not, but fortunately it comes good there. So I think ultimately zooming right in and getting the camera far away would probably be a better option. And we'll see if we can try that. This arm is tensioned. I actually sold my zoom lens only a few months ago because I only used it once, and why would I ever need it again was the theory. And now I wish I still had it, but I wouldn't be able to manually control the focus. So just pulse setting. Midway through that, I switched to a pulse setting, which I'm hoping you'd be able to see on the settings camera down here. So I just went to a 1 second pulse, 100 Hertz, with a 60% on time there. And now we're going to flip this thing over. So when I tack these CAT scans together, I did weld this seam on the bottom here. I was actually playing with some settings, and I had on this particular one, I had a large gap through here from the way it was folded, or the way that I folded it. So I was playing with some settings to try and close that up, and you can see I had to do a stop-start there because the weld opened up. But I'm actually going to weld this curve here. So I'm going to start by tacking the joins here, the start-stops. So start by tacking those up and go ahead and weld this seam. I do normally like to weld them like this, on this angle with a curved prop, but I can't use a curved prop tonight. So I think I'm just going to do it in three different bites along there, breaking it up into the 3 different directions. And this will be done on my straight amperage settings, so the ones we started the night with, which for me is setting number 1, or save program number 1. So zooming in like this definitely makes the camera darker, which might help with how it looks with the ND filter on. Just takes it to a different f-stop, which I can't see the screen at all because I have I'm just talking to myself actually. who I'm guessing, no it didn't. Okay, I was guessing that that camera died while I was welding, but evidently it didn't. Having a hard time getting comfortable tonight. I don't entirely think it's because of this prop. I want to actually blame it on the humidity, but it really doesn't, it doesn't feel like a great night to be welding. Trying to find an angle where you'll get to see without me moving this camera around too much. So I'm going to be welding this back section here and then coming around this curve at the front. Can you actually see the weld at all? I know it's the wrong shade of filter, but I'm curious, Chris, if you can actually see the weld puddle at all. I'm glad. I have the stream running on my phone here, mainly just to be able to check audio, but yeah, I don't know, I can only see the little 15 second delay, but yeah, I will be able to get a clearer arc with this camera eventually. I just didn't get the time today that I was hoping to be able to dial in some settings. Unfortunately, my day today started with, I've actually moved the shop around a little bit, but my day started with the shaft on the spindle on my CNC snapping halfway through the program that I absolutely needed to run today. So stream took a bit of a back burner as I tried to, God, as I tried to figure out how to get a new spindle here this week. So I'm just going to keep carrying on around the top here, get that all buttoned up, and then move on to, I might actually move on to the other can, let this one cool, and then come around and finish him off. Yeah, fortunately I managed to get through the custom parts that I needed to cut today, but I was actually supposed to be cutting a custom job tomorrow. That's just simply not going to happen now. Well, not going to happen until the end of the week at least. But these things happen. I've been running that spindle almost daily for 5 or 6 years, so it's really, you know, it's really had a good service life, I think. Yeah, nice. I've seen the soccer ball kits. I forget who was doing them. Justin Voss or someone was doing them. Be a lot of fun. Are you selling those kits? If you are, you can't drop a link in chat at the moment, but definitely PM me or put a link in the chat after the video is finished. I still haven't fixed the bots that are banning people or pausing people for dropping links in the chat at the moment. One of the many things that I intended to do with the stream today, but we'll try and get him sorted for later. But yeah, definitely keen for welding kits. If you, I sell these dice kits, which are just, you know, like a 2mm aluminium dice practice kit. They're 100mm long, which help with the recommended settings on the Kemppi because it gives you 100mm travel speeds. I sell those in routed laser cut and tumbled as well. Yeah, they sell on eBay if you're looking for a place to sell welding kits. Definitely something that needs to exist in the world. Well, that this screen here is absolutely killing the stream. I don't know if it's broadcasting okay, but it's saying that I shouldn't be using that screen. Yeah, so the top of this tank turned out really well. It didn't feel well while I was welding it, but the places I thought that there would be issues, there aren't. So I'm happy with that. Same pitfalls as always. The baffling inside creates a heat sink, and then the thin section with the baffling inside, sort of a strange one to weld because it's dissipating heat quickly and also retaining it in at least 2 or 3 spots along that long join. But all in all, the top of that one came up really nicely. I'm just going to set him aside and get started on this one, which I don't believe I cleaned at the start of the stream. Yeah, if it's something you want to market, Chris, I'd be more than happy to list them on my website or stock a couple. if it's something you want to get into. I think practice kits, the places that sell them seem to always be sold out. That's why I started making these little dice kits. But it's not something, with these ones, I've been asked for mild steel kits, which is not a market that I want to get into, but if it's something you want to get into, it might be something worth thinking about. A lot of people have also asked for pipe capping kits, so to be able to practice putting a flange on exhaust pipes, so 1.6mm to 6 to 10mm. But yeah, people have asked for practice kits that are not as expensive as buying like stainless steel, like 3 or 4 flanges. But yeah, there's definitely a market there for practice kits. And I reckon really like selling them with some tungsten and some filler rod, even a tungsten pack with a couple of different colours. I really think that's something that needs to exist. Currently not something that I want to get into, but definitely something that I would wholeheartedly support. So same as the other tank, because I had bad success on that one, I had another go with some settings to weld that bottom seam when I tacked the tank up. You can see which is what I was just tapping there. Can I show you? I might actually remove this camera, remove, and see if that makes this screen a bit better, and I can show you over here then. So I've actually got quite, I've got that inverted situation going on, but I've actually got quite a large gap across this section of this weld, and I actually had quite a large gap that I was trying to reef shut as I was tacking it. So you could see I had a couple of failed attempts at tacking. So I'm going to start by just sealing that up as cold as I can. Then jump on and, where are you guys? Then jump on and weld the two ends, and then go across the same as I did on that last run, and do this in 3 separate bites. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a tough one with Surdy Flat. So they've actually made all their CAD models public. So it's real easy, I guess. It makes it real easy to copy, since you can literally just go and download all their files. Super helpful when doing things like I've done, where I was trying to put a different leg set on a different tabletop, and I could actually see if it was going to fit or not, and get some measurements to see if my cabinets and stuff would fit under this table. But yeah, it did make it really tempting to just you know, see if I could get it a bit cheaper from the laser cutter. But super easy, I guess, to design your own. But you know, like same with my business, I like to support people that are doing good things, so it's just hard to fight that temptation to save a few bucks sometimes. So I actually noticed during that weld, and actually on that other tank, but I was just trying to power through, that the etch line is quite wide tonight, and I don't think I actually tested the gas flow, which I'm actually getting a pretty unstable arc and a wide etching zone, and I was at about 8.5 litres a minute instead of my normal 7. So I'll just drop him down and see if that improves things a touch. It's got to be the heat or something. I totally forgot to weld the filter cradle up first on this one. I just went straight to the underside. And this one's quite a gappy filter basket, so I might just tack up the wide spots, swap over to that other tank and let this one cool a little bit and come back and button that up. Alright, I'll pop him aside. So dropping that gas flow down definitely tidied up the wandering arc a little bit, and yeah, it's really a lot nicer with that narrower etch zone. Yeah, is that the 10mm top plate? No, I haven't seen one with a 10mm top. Only the 3.5 or 3.8, whatever they've got. That's not a Certi-Flat table. Is that another brand? They have Rhino or something, don't they? And another brand. $16mm at 100. Yeah, I think the 50x50 is probably. I guess it depends what you're doing with it, but yeah, 10mm top though would be nice. Definitely $580. You can't go wrong with legs. Yeah, I have to go check them out. I haven't been down there for quite some time, but I definitely need to go down and pick up some stuff. Not surprising that they'd put something out under their own name, but it's surprising that they go 100 by 100 centres. Seems like an odd pattern for them to do, but I guess it saves them a few bucks on laser cutting. Is 16mm the same size as strong hand tools? I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know. I'm sure that Herrenfords would want to use the strong hand tools they sell as well on their own table. Yeah, the table that they sell, it's like an all-in-one, it's like a half-inch think top. I think they charge like $6 and I reckon it's Rhino, without looking it up. Comes with tools and drawers and everything. It's a really nice looking bit of kit. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's good value, but I'd love to see a alternative to that table. Alright, so I'll button up this filter basket this time. There is some pretty big gaps. The light's not in your favour to see those. Some pretty big gaps on that. Let's try this setting, and so there's some big gaps sort of all around on this one. So I will switch to the pulse setting. I have really enjoyed using that the last few nights. And there you guys are. totally don't have my brain switched on tonight. I actually started on the thin sections or on the thin gap. And worked my way around to the thin gap and had a bit of trouble with it opening up as I went round. Just through this one here. Looks a bit dreadful with the reflection on it, but with powder coat on it, it's going to look fantastic. But yeah, just didn't have any forethought there. Yeah, I've seen him on Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace. That Rhino table for 3.2 doesn't sound too bad when I was thinking 6.5, but too big for my shop anyway, or at least what I'm trying to achieve over here. Yeah, I was going to have a chat to those guys about making a round, which is probably something you'd do. Although it might even be better being a CNC part, doing a round fixture table for this bearing setup. Now, I don't know if it would actually be better, but having a 400 round plate on here might be a bit nicer. But yeah, I was looking at those guys, and Build Pro or somebody do a fully articulated table that I was looking at as well. And before I bought this table, which is like on an engine stand that I could you can swivel around, and I think you can get a lean on it as well. But you can certainly pivot it like on an engine stand. I think really cool, but yeah, super happy with this 600 by 1200 table. It's definitely more than what I need, and I do have a spare 600 by 900 table back there as well. If I ever need, I used to have this as one big along with the 1200 and 900 table, but very hard to get stuff under it. It's a really low knee height or low height for me. Can you see on this screen? Yes, you can. FJ was in the chat the other night, FJ Engineering, and commented on me putting my filler rod down straight on the table. I'm not convinced that it makes a difference, but I was thinking about it after the fact that I am broadcasting this welding to the world technically, so I've gone ahead and just put my little, I can't release them from here, but just put my little aluminium pipe steadies, the little strong hand, or I'm pretty sure they're strong hand tools, but and I've just been resting my filler rod in that. I don't know if it's been noticed or not, but FJ, if you watch the VODs back, inspired by you, I think best practice is definitely a good thing. I did actually WD-40 my table the other day, so it made me think that, yeah, I certainly don't want to be putting my filler rods down on that. Yeah. All of this stuff is making me a better fabricator, I guess, so I appreciate that for sure. some motorbikes going crazy outside right now. Just before the stream started, there was a drone flying back and forth outside. I have no idea if the two are related, but they're having a good time, so that's all that really matters. Yeah, I agree. I'm sort of mixed camp on that one. Definitely depending on the application of the part as to how I treat the filler, but I don't know if that's a really a good enough excuse. But definitely made me think about it. My goal with these streams was one, to sort of put myself out there in real time and struggle, I guess. I struggle with not being able to edit the stream at all, as opposed to a YouTube video where I can edit what gets broadcast. On a stream, it's all live and there's nothing I can do. I thought the biggest thing that I would struggle. Yeah, but I clean my filler rods before I put them in these tubes. The gloves definitely touch the dirty parts, the dirty bench, and then the filler rods. The cleaning action of the welder actually does a lot, I think, to clean these welds, or at least to clean any contaminants off the table. But keeping the aluminium rods in some aluminium V's on the table. The other thing that I'm noticing is that I put them away, so they go in the same spot every time, so when I'm looking for them, they're always where I think they should be. I don't think there's really a downside, but food for thought. I think everyone coming together and putting some collective knowledge, I like to call it remixing. We all sort of remix our knowledge together and come up with some good stuff, I think. So that's I guess right now the goal of me being here is to, I guess, selfishly make myself better, but in part broadcasting it to the world's helping everybody, hopefully. Is this camera here broadcasting backwards? Is that coming through flipped on the stream? I think it is. I just tried to fix it then. I don't think I can fix it tonight, but I will check the stream after the fact, but it looks like it's streaming backwards. Or broadcasting backwards, at least. Still got a fair bit to go on this tank, so we'll just keep powering through. Get this set up here. Since moving this camera away, it hasn't dropped out as much, which is excellent. It is backwards, is it? It looks backwards on my screen, but then I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. And then on my phone, I don't know if I can fix that. I can flip it, which might have something to do with it. Better. Alright, that's better. Still can't see it very well, but I don't quite know what to do about that. I could probably... No, it doesn't really make a difference. It's just so far out of focus. Yeah, I can't see that screen, unfortunately. I was just like, because really on this tiny little screen that I'm watching the stream on, I was just trying to figure out what side the squares are supposed to be on. That's a bit better. We'll try that. It gets you to see the screen better at least. Hopefully. That looks a bit better. So we'll just go ahead and weld this straight weld now. I thought had frozen then, but it's still running. It actually looks it looks a lot clearer. It was all grainy before, so that's a good thing. Hopefully, doesn't really let the camera work any other way, but for this, it's doing it. Just I didn't realise it was broadcasting backwards all night. I had a suspicion it was, but I wasn't 100% certain. But that's fine. We're still learning as we go. I didn't actually check what stream number this is. I think it's stream number 11 or 12. We're still on the way to 100. I'm expecting to have a absolutely mint stream by the time I get to stream number 100. Number 11, is it? Awesome. I thought the last one was number 10, but the weekend's passed and I forget things over the weekend. My main camera has frozen up there, maybe? Doesn't want to come good. Everything else is working. I'll just try and reset that camera. Hopefully, there he is. Excellent. Where are we? It seems to be around that hour and 15 mark. The stream drops out and then I start having issues. I have no idea what causes that. Everything seems to be running well now, but still getting a few little bits of encoding problems, but all in all it's running pretty good. We got 3 more welds to do on this tank. Let's jump in here and get this long weld done. Definitely should have run a chill block along that weld. It started popping open as I got towards the baffle part, and I can see the front of this tank probably needs it as well. There's a little bit of distortion in the two sides of the tack, so I'm just going to pop my chill block on. Yeah, I'm happy with the camera setup. I understand why the computer freaks out trying to run 3 cameras at once, and I do know the fix for that, and it's a new computer, but it's not something that I'm willing to invest in at this point in time. But yeah, I like this. I'd like to maybe get this camera a bit closer. I tried to set it up to show the whole table, but definitely like this this screen here to be able to sort of zoom in and get a nice clear shot of what's going on, as opposed to the grainy camera I've been using previously. But yeah, bloody good. I do have for my main camera here, I do have a Sigma lens that I really love. It's a 16mm Sigma lens. There's an 11mm wide lens on there at the moment that I'd really like to use, but it will actually bring the focal point in, like really crop it in, I guess. So I'm trying to sort of figure out, every day I pop it on and think today's the day, but you just can't beat that 11mm lens and the amount of stuff you can see with it. It is a good quality lens. On this camera up here, I've actually just used the cheapest lens that I've got because I'm running it so close to the welder. This whole camera is like a sacrificial DSLR. But yeah, I'm happy with the setup as well. I made these for Be Right Back, and I had the stream countdown timer that I made last night, which I am super stoked with, and I've got a few other things to try and get the chat up on the screen instead of it being separate. So if you are watching it on a device, You can see the chat come up in real time, and I wanted to be able to show subscribers, new subscribers that pop up on the screen as well. I think it's bloody cool. I'm having a really great time doing these streams and trying to figure out how to make them better. But few things to learn yet, but I'm loving the process. Alright, we did it. That is 2 fully welded R33 recirculating catch cans. I have quite a few of these on order at the moment, and I think I have one more left to weld up. Obviously still have the fittings to weld on and the brackets to weld on. These holes need to be drilled out to 7mm before they go to powder coat, but not too bad on that one. The parts that you see in the vehicle are, I totally forgot that camera was zoomed in. So the parts you see in the car is this face and this curved weld. All this stuff gets a plate on it. Definitely unhappy with the inside here, and I was thinking about that, like this is definitely something that I would not show on my Instagram or if I was filming a YouTube video. Stuff like this section of weld here, this bit through here, are all things that I probably wouldn't publicly broadcast, but on stream that's the point, to show the things that I wouldn't normally show and to show a bit of real world stuff. This one actually welded up really nicely. The filter basket was a really good fit in there. The only thing that I'm super unhappy about well, not super unhappy, but am a little unhappy about is this section through here. The part that I love the most on these cans is this, and I take photos of them on my Instagram all the time, is this three-way intersection. There's just something about it that makes me happy every time. All the worlds just coming together, and I don't know, I just really like it. But yeah, good stream. Everything ran really smoothly. Chris, thanks for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed the conversation tonight. You're a bloody legend. The question I have, I'll leave that spinning there. The question I have for people watching the VOD after the stream, I really want to know what people who aren't interested in welding would want to see from a welding stream, or what you think they might like to see from a welding stream. I know the downtime in conversation while the welding's going on is difficult. If I was DC welding, I reckon I could continue to talk while I'm welding, but it's real difficult. I guess it's really uncomfortable to talk over AC welding, especially 100 hertz and above. So that's my question. The short question is, what can I do to make this stream interesting to people who aren't interested in welders or welding? That's it. People watching the stream after it was live, thank you so much for checking it out and spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. Chris, you are freaking awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I reluctantly say, but yes, I will be here tomorrow between 5 and 5:30. Have a good night.